Hello and welcome to Golf Coach Access. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my absolute favourite drill of all time. It's a drill that it was on the original app that I created a few years ago. It's a drill that we go into in a bit more depth on the Golf Coach Access channel. And if you're a private student of mine, then it's certainly a drill that we'll be doing probably over and over. And that doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or an elite level golfer. It absolutely cuts to one of the fundamental skills of the game, and that is club face control. Because we know that, assuming you're striking the ball relatively centered on the face, the 85% of the ball direction is going to come down to the club face. And I know that there's a bit of give and take there depending on loft, speed, friction and other things, but let's keep it simple. The club face is absolutely king. And if your path is relatively straight through the ball, which most people's is, then again, club face is the key determinant of where the ball goes. So, if you are relatively new to the game or you're a high handicap player, you might think that, trying to manipulate the face would seem like, an advanced skill. But, ultimately, if we think about it, we have to manipulate the face just to bring it back to the ball square. So learning to kind of control the face, throughout the swing and how we deliver it is actually pretty fundamental. So whether you like it or not, we need to have an awareness and a mental connection with what's going on with the club face. Another thing I love about the drill I'm about to show you is it really utilizes that concept of external focus that we've spoken about elsewhere on the channel. So just very quickly, meaning that if we put our attention on the effect of our movement, so the external focus, the club head, then our body is allowed to self-organize all the other movements that allow that to happen. Meaning you don't have a load of kind of clunky thoughts that are complicating the matter and really kind of clogging up working memory. You can just focus on the motion of the face and let your body's intuition take over. Now, this is how the exercise works. I would set a player the task of being able to control the face in different ways through the ball. So we're really kind of exploring different fields. Before I get into it, I would suggest that we set up an awareness scale, and the scale is based on this. And I'll just switch to my hockey stick so you can see the club face a little bit better. Right, okay, so that has obviously there's no loft and it's a big clear face. So if when the club face comes back in front of us, if the face is dead straight, that would be a 0. If the face is open, we put it on a scale of 1 to 5. So open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And closed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the numbers are fairly arbitrary as long as we have this kind of sliding scale. And the exercise is going to be hitting the ball in your usual manner, so without changing the swing plane or changing your sort of direction, and being able to just hit those different numbers through the swing by manipulating the face. And before we get into it, I would then first of all just go through the circle exercise. So that circle drill is the idea that the swing is this kind of circular motion that swings around us on this tilted angle. And the way we use the drill is we make circles at chest height. And again, there's loads of examples of this through my channel and I'm sure on the YouTube as well. But the idea is we make this circular pattern. Okay. And you can see as I make that circular pattern, the club face is rotating. So it rotates onto its back in the backswing. So that's what an open sort of 4 or 5 comes back in front of us and then rotates over in the follow through. So again, looking at that, you can see that the club face isn't square for very long in golf. It certainly doesn't stay square, all the way through. So being able to control and skillfully manipulate the face, again, is absolutely key. So here's how the drill works. So you would first of all explore what it is like to feel an open 3. So you go through the exercise and you just try and bring the club through and keep the face that bit open. And you'll notice when you do the exercise, if you keep it open all the way through, your arms are going to get a little bit stuck. So eventually you're going to need to let the arms turn over. So I'd explore what it's like to have an open 3 face. And having got good at that, you would then have a go at a closed 3. And of course, that's a really different feeling. Now we are starting to get a feel for what it's like to rotate the arms through the shot. Okay. And I'd try and sort of have this awareness of the face so I could give it a number as it came through. So there's my aiming for open 3, that felt like a 4. Aiming for closed 3, that felt like a 2. And that process is really important. That's us having that mental connection to the face. It's important we're not kind of looking at the face and trying to control it that way. I need to know where the face is by the feeling of my arms and wrists and how I'm kind of connected to the club through my body. Having hit the bigger numbers, I would then kind of bring it in. So we're now aiming for an open 1, so that looks something like that. And then maybe a closed 1. So we're using external focus, and we're also using that motor learning concept of parameterization, which is the Goldilocks approach, if you like. That's where we're feeling what too much is, what too little is, and it's just giving our brain those kind of mental cues to hook onto to really start to feel and understand what's happening with the face. And of course, once you've felt the big numbers, so this way, and then we bring it in, 0, so a dead straight club face, is just in the middle. So that would look something like this. And it doesn't matter how you manipulate the club to some degree in this exercise, as long as we bring it back to 0. So really advanced players might do it with great body rotation, and other players may just sort of swing the club out and use their hands and arms. As far as this exercise is concerned, and to some degree, in terms of the ball direction, that doesn't matter either. It's all around controlling the club face. So having done the drill and got a feel for all those different positions, we would go ahead and we'd hit the shots. So the first task would be to hit an open 3, and sure enough, the player would go ahead and hit this kind of big high fadey thing, and we'd have a few goes at that. And even if you're a slicer, being able to do that on purpose, there's something really special about that. There's something really beneficial in connecting to actually having a clear intention and delivering the face the way you want. Obviously, we'd then go and do the opposite. We'd feel a closed 3, and then just like in the drill there, we'd bring it back to 0. I've never yet met a player who can't do that, and within 10 minutes can't hit all those different ball flights. So, you know, what's the real benefits of that? Well, first of all, obviously seeing where the ball goes as it reacts off the face is again absolutely key to playing good golf. You'll be able to, you know, let's say you're slicing a ball on the course, the first 2 holes you slice your driver, rather than coming back to your last lesson or something you've seen on YouTube and thinking, oh, I've lifted my head, I've moved my body out of posture. Ideally, you'd come back to the thing that really matters the most, and that is what's happening to the club face. And if you've done this drill enough, you will know that you have the skill to be able to manipulate the face and get it back straight. And after all, that is all the ball really understands, is where it's striking and the angle of the face. But beyond that, you know, if you can manipulate the face both ways, as we said before, it also means you've got an enhanced skill and awareness of face control, and you'll be better at bringing it back to straight. Now, most recently, in fact, this week, I went on one of my links coaching trips, and I took a few of my students down to Prince's, which is the final qualifying course for the British Open being played in a few weeks. And we had a brilliant time. One of the skills we learned, so we're learning link skills, keeping the ball down, etc. And the skill we learned on the last day was how to hold the ball up into a crosswind. So let's imagine you've got the wind blowing from left to right. There's only so far left you can hit it, isn't there? And let's imagine you're aiming left for that crosswind, and then accidentally you deliver the club with that open 1. That ball is going to be a huge high shot, way out of control going that way. Whereas we know now, and through doing this drill, we actually have the skill to manipulate the face. We can do that on purpose. So the task was to deliver the face with an open 1 or 2, and then watch the ball kind of fight into the wind, and as I say, hold the ball straight through that crosswind. And of course, the opposite would be true as well. With the right to left wind, we're just holding the face, open 1 or 2, depending on the strength of the wind, and seeing it kind of stay straight in the breeze. And one of the guys I played with, Andy, on I think it was the 5th fifth hole, had that right to left crosswind, and he said, right, this is where I'm going to try, open to club face, hold it in the wind. And sure enough, he did exactly that. He had that follow through that looked like he'd held it up. The ball had one bounce and slammed straight in the hole. Hole in one, amazing, with a really kind of fierce crosswind. He didn't aim way out and just kind of watch it hook in. He had that incredibly rewarding feeling of controlling the ball flight with these really quite simple skills of club face control. I think the benefits of doing the drill are huge, and not just as a sort of mechanical exercise to see whether you can control club face, but as an ongoing exercise to see whether you can continually develop that skill, which is, at the end of the day, all around controlling the ball flight. And who wouldn't want that? If you've enjoyed this video, then please click subscribe and I'll keep you up to date with more coaching information. And if you really want to take your game to the next level, then please visit my website, golfcoach.online, where you'll see there my subscription channel, which is Golf Coach Access, which is all about building a golf coaching and education community and having really structured long-term programs. And the best thing is you can get immediate free access.